So let's look at the Thunder system in action. We're going to assume that you already have done your form analysis, have been tracking your bets previously so you know your strike rate, and you therefore know your minimum odds required to make profit. Or you're using our premium subscription picks because that's already all been done for you. So let's look at an example. On the 28th of July, these were our picks sent out to our premium subscription members for Thoroughbred Racing. What we do next to use the Thunder system is to work out the order in which these selections run. So we look at their race start times and put them in order. You'll also get that done for you on our Thoroughbred and Greyhounds with our premium tips. Now, as you can see here, we've placed each selection in order by time. And the first bet I'll place is on Gatton Race 1, number 9, Royal Myth for 1 unit, and it wins. And we'll say our units are $1 for this example, so we're returning $3.20. Now our next race is Canberra Race 1, number 6, Monty Ainsley. And because we won on the last race, we wager 1 unit again as we've gone back to scratch, and it's lost. Now we continue on over the next 5 races, getting a few placings but no firsts, with our units following the strategy of the sum of the 2 previous. So now we're up to number 8, and that's a Canberra Race 4, number 3, Chilcotton for 21 units, and it wins at $3.10, returning $65.10. So we now go back to scratch again, and these were our next 5 wagers, returning a few more winners. But when we got to number 14, at Gatton Race 6, it was too short at $2.80. So we skip that race and move on to number 15, which is at Geelong Synthetic. We continue the process over the next 6 wagers, but as the day's tips are coming to an end, we start to look at the few races coming up differently. If we hadn't had a first and you're concerned about running at a loss for the day, start looking at the options that we mentioned in the first Thunder system video. Dutching or a place instead of a win, or changing your wager. You most definitely can run your wager carried over to the next day too. So if you ended up with 13 units on the last race and it lost, you'd start with 21 on the first tomorrow if you like. So what it turned out here was that our tip was a place tip anyway. Now it was a little bit shorter, but because we were only 2 more to run, we still did it anyway. You use your judgment on these ones. With a quick calculation, I knew that 13 units at the 260 would be just a little over money back, and so that was great. And it won. So the next 2 ran but only returned 1 second, so nothing back there. So we had 23 selections and backed 22 of them because we skipped that one that was under the $3 minimum for our system to be profitable. And remember, if your strike rate is lower than ours, you'll need to be at higher odds to cover your losses than what we do, so you must track your bets to work that out to be profitable for this system or any to work. So we spent $97 and won $134.80, returning $37.80 profit. The best part was that after that second win, you were able to wager all of the rest of the races without touching your own funds. So remember, know your strike rate and your minimum odds for profit if you're not using our tips. Decide on your bankroll to determine how many wagers you can do before needing to mitigate your losses if you haven't hit a win. Use Dutching or a place bet to increase your chances of a return, but still must be over the minimum odds. And to skip a race if it's under your minimum odds or the $3 for our picks. Now we hit just on 3,000 units profit using this exact strategy with our selections during July, wagering in full until 55 units. We could have achieved higher returns than this if we had went further, but that's not so realistic for most people. But you can see how it can work really well. So good luck.